Big up, good people. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another live evening show on Chelsea Perspective. Today, more like team news. More of team news. You can say more team news than the usual news, transfers, or anything, except if something emerges by the time the show ends, or if you prefer, as the show progresses, we will most likely address it. We'll talk about Romeo Lavia, if anything new, Trevor Chalobah, Carney Chukwuemeka, Ben Chilwell, and of course, Reece James. In his case, we have conflicting reports, but it looks like he's fully fit and most likely maybe start off the bench or start on that day. But that's, by the way, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. More importantly, good morning, afternoon, and evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you once again finding the time to join the show. And whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope heartily offer whatever suits your time zone. And I hope you're having a good day. Whatever you're going through, if things are all right on your end, just stay strong. You will overcome. So let's see who we have in the chat already. Not too many people, but quite a lot. Big up, Mitch, boy. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. As always, my brother from another land. I hope you're doing well. And Obi, if you haven't, go check out Mitch Boy's YouTube channel and subscribe. Let him know I sent you. And for others who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, we appreciate you because you following the show alone does go a long way. But if you can do us one more favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is just to take a second and drop a like on the stream, we'd really appreciate that because that will go a long way. Let's see. Obi Madoba is in the house. I am early to church today. Yeah. So you're gonna be blessed. You're not gonna miss anything if you pay attention properly. Walking back from work, so perfect time to listen in. I hope again be safe. I hope you're walking in a safe area. But more importantly, nice to see you, brother. I do hope you're doing well. And this is just Mitchy Boy saying hello to Obi there. Yep, thank you. I appreciate you all. We don't have too much to talk about. The chances are we will talk quite a lot about the little stuff we'll have to talk about. And this one is interesting and funny at the same time. It's Mykhailo Mudryk's countryman. After that delicious goal he scored from a distance outside, just outside, not just outside the box, but it was a long range shot. A delicious finish from him, and plus the you can say where he got the ball from. The direct run he made towards the 18-yard box before he took that shot. You can say a bit of, you can say a flash of what he's capable of doing. But I hope to see more of that once he comes back. When he's playing for Chelsea. This says Zinchenko saying Zinchenko has a message from Mykhailo Mudryk after his goal for Ukraine. A delicious goal. I'm going to say that again. I told him if you do or attempt to do that on Saturday, I will rip your balls out. That is funny at the same time. But that's to show you how beautiful that goal was. It was an excellent, well-taken goal. He has it in him. All he needs is the manager to show him that he trusts him. And I'm glad Mauricio Pochettino is doing that. We have an excellent player in Mykhailo Mudryk, and we've seen he's coming into his own. Hopefully the manager keeps playing him so that, yeah, he can be as good as he can be. Let's beat Arsenal. I hope that happens. And GFC, Gavin, nice to see you in the building. Much love to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. You and Mitchy Boy, you guys know what to do. I just say, please subscribe to my channel. Then you put the URL to your channel in the chat so people can go check it out. And when I see it, if I have time, I'll talk about it. But more importantly, bro, I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. I am going to the store. So have a good show, coach. I thank you so much, brother. You can you could just share the link to your channel so people can go check it out before you leave. So this one here is an interesting one. Just I thought we should look at it because it just confirms. It also highlights how good how delicious that goal by Mykhailo Mudryk for Ukraine. How good it was. But we move on from that. We go to the next item we have lined up. No beating about the bush. If we address all the items we have lined up quickly, even in 10 minutes, yeah, we'd round off, honestly. Except if you have questions or if if something else emerges, then we'll be obliged to address them. We'll move on to the next item. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. And if you saw that Mykhailo Mudryk goal, I want to hear from you. What do you think of it? To me, it was you could say a deliciously that goal. You could say for me, it was deliciously delicious in my opinion, for lack of a better way to describe how beautiful that goal was. Good for him. He's in again high in confidence right now. I hope he doesn't drop when he comes back to Chelsea and plays for us. Let him show that sort of confidence also. I'd like to see that. See Chalobah injured, and Yeah, you mentioned his name twice there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Let's see. Yep. Well, yep. I think I see that by Mitchell Boy. Before we move on to the next item, he's saying he has big hopes for Mykhailo Mudryk. So do I. I've always trusted in him. I've always believed in the kid. Even when people were saying we wasted money, do I think we overpaid? Oh yeah, we did overpay, and that's because we competed with Arsenal for his signature, and we had to pay premium to get him over Arsenal. And for me, I've never given up on him. I've always known that we didn't handle his start to life at Chelsea very well, especially on the ground, Potter. But I'm good. I'm happy that he's coming good right now. And our manager, current manager of Mauricio Pochettino, understand how to get the best out of the kid. Big up to you too, the coolest Chelsea, my brother from another land, another mother from the Madiba land. Always nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining this evening, and you know what to do. Need not remind you. And he's saying, make sure you hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And thank you for 13 likes already. We should be doing better than that. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. So I want to hear you. What do you make of that, Mykhailo Mudryk's goal? Let's hear you. Yeah, you don't like me, Chiba, and I'm sure, quite sure he knows. The Gallagher perspective is back. Just go away, Chimera. You know I don't like you, right? Chimera, really, yeah, he knows I don't like him, so he's trying to get me to talk to him, but I'm not gonna do that. See, it's painful. Sack medical team, assault Lavia. No, why are you saying that? They've already revamped the medical team, for lack of a better term. It's not their problem in any way. So I'm not sure what to make of that comment from you. Yeah, he shouldn't. Nightbot shouldn't bring his personal issues to the issues to the streams. We don't like that. You know, we want to stay civil. We don't want to fight each other. I enjoyed the goal, bro. I was watching the game, praying for him to score. Yep, I think a few days even before the game, you were preaching that he was going to score, and lo and behold, he did. And it wasn't a basic goal; it was an extraordinary goal, exceptional goal, so delicious, very well taken. And it wasn't by accident. He knew exactly what he was doing when he took the ball on the left flanks and left flank and made runs towards the central area. And then yeah, the goalkeeper couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything about it. But that's why. Well, let's move on to the next item we have lined up. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 14 likes. We should be doing better than that. But let's move on. All right, this is one of the players we let go on loan that I wasn't happy when that happened. And he's shown that you can say we could have been better off not to let him leave on loan. And he says highest rated 18-year-olds in 18-year-old in Europe's top five league this season. 6+ appearances in total for each of them. Matisse Tell, a 6.85 rating. Ivan Ferguson of Brighton, correct me if I'm wrong, 6.80 rating. Angelo Gabriel, 6.55 rating on who scored. To me, I wish we kept him, but now he's on loan, and I'm quite sure, yeah, he'd be playing for Chelsea next season. I don't see anything different happening, in my opinion. Yeah, it was a delicious goal, and thank you for being truthful about it. Let's see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Do you want to see Angelo Gabriel play for Chelsea 24-25 season? I want to see that happen. In my opinion, if there's actually the possibility of bringing him back in January, I wouldn't mind the club doing that. And that's because even before we let him live on loan, I was preaching that we should keep him. He brings us something different to the table. He operates differently than all the players we have within our ranks right now. The give and go is something not too many of our players, not too many, again, not a lot of players we have right now do that. And he does that, and he has excellent vision too. I've seen people compare him to Rafinha, that complaining that he's too one-sided. I don't think that's the case. Even though he's left-footed and he tends to drift inwards if it's deployed on the right-hand side, which is something very common with left-footed players who play um, on the right-hand side. But to me, he has more to his game. He has that intelligence and can pick up excellent passes. If you make that run, Angelo Gabriel will see you. And for me, I was shocked that we let him leave on loan to Strasbourg, sister club, for lack of a better term. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. I hope to see him start playing play for Chelsea soon. When would that be possible? I honestly do not know. Maybe January. I don't think that will happen. I think probably yeah, he will finish the entirety of the season at Strasbourg. But let's see. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. We have 14 likes. And people, I think we should be doing better than that. If you don't mind, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And let's see, the coolest Chelsea saying, I cannot wait for the Declan Rice and Moses Caicedo debate battle on the pitch. Then the debate that will maybe the debate before the game during, you can say, match or previews. Let's see what people have to say, and then let's see what the outcome tells us and who fails in, we say, in their argument with regards to which of the two players is better than the other. Caicedo debate on to the end on a Sunday. I hope Moses Caicedo will be fully fit to play this game. I think he will, according to reports, but I'm not too sure about that. But I still think even before the game is played, no matter the outcome of the game, I still think he's a more complete player than Declan Rice. But anyway, that is just my opinion. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. 15 likes. We should be doing better than that. And please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's see what else we have lined up here and address it as soon as possible. Let's see. Right, this one, I'm not too concerned. Trevor Chalobah and Carney Chukwuemeka have both suffered recent setbacks in their bid to return from respective injuries sustained earlier this season. Concerning setback after setback, and I'm quite sure I get it. He did he did make a post suggesting that the rumors that he sustained a setback. I'm talking about Romeo Lavia, by the way, wasn't true. But he deleted the tweet, which has led to me, you can say, which leads to me believing that, yeah, he did suffer a setback. And after all, we were told that he was going to return to full training by the end of this particular month. And then why all of a sudden his return date, why are they moving his return date to November? So which means something happened. And for him to have deleted that post on X, which he was complaining, where he said something to the effect of anything for clicks nowadays, and deleting it means, yeah, something really did happen to him. But I hope he gets well soon. We're not missing him that much, but if he gets well and be available for selection, he makes us stronger. But right now, we're not missing him too much, actually. Yep, keep dropping the likes on the stream. And for Carney Chukwuemeka, unfortunately, he's also suffered a setback. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, some people say injury FC, like Tebeho has said in the chat already. I think that's the case. I think I can say I'm not gonna argue anybody that says, yeah, we are injury FC, because the situation is really concerning. One setback after the other. Setback for Benwell Badiashile, now setback for Trevor Chalobah, and a setback for Carney Chukwuemeka. You can say, you could argue the only traditional 10 we have within our ranks, unfortunately. And for Trevor Chalobah, in this case, you could it'd be legit to argue that he may well not that he may well that he may well not get the chance to play for Chelsea Football Club again, and that's because yeah, we've heard that the club will most certainly sell him come January. And the fact that he's injured and he's also suffered a setback, and probably by the time he comes back with the club, when you can say by the time he comes back, he'd be surplus to requirement, in my opinion. But let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 18 likes. We should be doing better than that. And please also do subscribe to the channel if you have not. And if you have any questions, drop it in the chat, and I'll try my best to address it. Since I'm the only person on the panel right now, and if we have by the time you ask the question, and we have anybody else here, then we'll put her together and try to address your concern. Let me say question to be specific. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see. The coolest Charles Tobejo saying we don't know the main issue in terms of our injuries, and it is unfair to blame our medical team. Yep, I don't like to see that from people really. Even after you can say revamped the medical team, you can say overhauled the medical team, the issues the issue is still there. The problem still exists. So I don't think it makes sense to blame the medical team. Also, the club needs to sit down and discuss this issue. I think it was 2 days ago that I was telling JC. He made a similar argument and how he said the situation is concerning, and I told him he's saying that at a time where nearly all the players we have out are all on the verge of returning to full training, and that has changed immediately just today. That's seriously concerning. Not even 2 days after we had that conversation, we're seeing setback after setback. But that's, by the way, we have Bobby in the house. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. To join me on the panel this evening. I hope you're doing well. Let me say, I hope you're recovering well. You being here, it's a good sign. So no need to be concerned that much about you. Maybe I don't know. Let me get you started immediately. If you want to talk about how well Angelo Gabriel is doing at Strasbourg, he's the third most rated youngster in world football overall. I says the highest rated 18-year-old. Okay, in Europe's top 5 league this season, 6+ appearances each of them. Mattis Tell is rated 6.85. Ivan Ferguson of I think, correct me if I'm wrong. The Ivan Ferguson is the Brighton kid, 6.80, and Angelo Gabriel 6.55. We shouldn't have let him leave on loan. And plus, we don't have too many wingers at the club right now, in my opinion. But let's hear you, Bobby. You have anything to say with regards to his performance at Strasbourg? He's been one of the best players so far.
Hi, Coach.
Hi to you too, brother.
Chat, and I don't know if there's anyone else on the panel, but if there is,
no, it's just you and I at this point.
At the moment. Okay. Yeah, Angelo Gabriel. I haven't really been following him. This isn't due to lack of interest. It's just, with my recovery, though I'm going in the right direction. If you may have noticed, I have spent a considerable period of time off the circuit a bit. So I don't know. What I can say is in pre-season, he looked a good player. And his improvement can only encourage his breakthrough into the first team. I don't think we should lament and start saying, oh, I don't want him to go on loan. And even like people are, or sort of in the last show, there's some sort of lamentations about Detro Fofana going on loan. I mean, we don't fully know what temperament these coaches see, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a bad temperament. It's just that they may see a temperament, meaning that these players need to be in a less hostile and competitive environment for them to thrive and be able to then break into the first team, or at least start being part of the squad. Why do I say this? Well, the reason I say this is that we all know how brutal the Premier League is. We all know how brutal the Chelsea first team is. We all know how brutal the fan base are. They barely allow young players to develop, and they hit them with criticisms. I mean, we all remember the criticisms labeled that poor old Carney Chukwuemeka when he first came on in a bad season a season where the whole team wasn't playing well, and he had one or two little wobbles. Was Liverpool, he kind of fell over, all that kind of thing, and people started attacking this player. I must add, to my surprise, a lot of our African fan base as well, which I felt was, very disappointing. I thought they'll back the kid. He's only 19, and but they came after him, which is what they do, and it's not good. So thankfully, Angelo Gabriel is being spared of that, because I have heard before I kind of relapsed that he did have, yes, he's had some great games with Strasbourg, but he has had a few little games where he's been out, not really been in the game, and he's shown his age and development. Now, he can get away with that at Strasbourg, but he would never get away with that at Chelsea, who, may I ask, may I also remind, we had some of the fickle side of the fan base even attacking Mykhailo Mudryk. Oh, what a waste of money. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you just think, what is wrong with these people? They're not supporters. They're just trolls, as far as I'm concerned. But, I don't want to attack people now here. But, that's part of the frustration I feel at this. We want to give these guys a chance. When we give them a chance and they show their age, we attack them. Poor old Enzo's almost fallen into that trap. People forget his age as well. And, when Caicedo came and he hadn't played football, he had just come into a new team, everything new, one or two little mishaps in a game, and they're after him as well. So, I'm glad these guys aren't here. Fofana, the same thing. Yes, we all waxed lyrical when he showed some flashes when he came on for Potter that time, and then we didn't see him again. And maybe rightly we wanted to see him, but I'm not sad he's gone on loan, and I think he needs that place to then build up his game to a point where he gets in the reckoning. If these players that go overseas or wherever build up their game but don't do it enough to get in the reckoning, then there's a market value for them to eventually sell. So heads we win, tails we win, as it were. So
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
just to conclude, yes, I'm very pleased for Angelo Gabriel. Long may it continue, but I don't think we should rush. Let him have his season in Strasbourg, see how it happens in the pre-season, and we take it from there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's a good thing he's on loan at Strasbourg, and when he comes back, the fan base will respect him based on how well he does there. I think he makes sense because right now they won't be scrutinizing him too much. If he comes back, you could say an established player or maybe a better player than we knew him. I think he makes sense. So I agree with you. Hopefully he continues in that trajectory, and when he comes back, then we'll be happy to have him back and not too much scrutiny. Havertz will spoil them, Chelsea will win. Here's the thing. I'd rather Havertz not play because if he gets to play, you'd see a different version of Havertz because he would want to show Chelsea you should look what you're missing. It's a psychological thing, for lack of a better term. I'd rather him not play.
Can I make a comment about this game quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Really brief comment that I think is going unnoticed.
Go ahead.
In the past 5 years, we have never had a team, a complete team, or a team with at least 50% of our key players fit to play Arsenal. And they have always had a fit team. We tend to forget that detail. They've always had all their key players. They never struggle for a fit team to bring to play against Chelsea. And so I don't gauge these two teams. I can't gauge them. I don't know where they are because it's never been a balanced fight. We've always been patching up, looking for this, that, playing players out of position. We've never gone toe-to-toe to them squarely, shoulder for shoulder, team for team. I think we're better if we have our fully fit key players. I really do. But we'd never have that. So whether Havertz plays or not, I'm not even focused on that. I don't think it's relevant. I just think our issue is we need to get as many of those injuries back as is possible, back and ready, fit to play, because that is the only gauge of what we're doing in that game. Anything else, we're not playing an even game at all, in my opinion. Again, but
Yeah,
that
I understand where you're coming from, but I think we have even without James, but I think James will be selected to start that game. I think we're good. I think we don't have too many players out there. I can say it will not be an even game at this time. At this time, I think we can match them. The only thing they have over us is that they are more of a unit than we are right now. We have an entirely new squad, and which leads to us experiencing disjointed displays here and there, and some mix-up that can lead to us conceding goal. But I'm not making any excuses. I think we can beat them tomorrow if the manager, if he does his homework, and you can say, find the weaknesses in that Arsenal team. I think we're capable of beating them.
Can I slightly beg to differ? Why I
Yeah.
say that is that maybe it's a compliment that Chelsea fans really look at their squad and they think that whatever they have, they should be able to compete. But you play Arsenal without Odegaard. You play Arsenal without Saka. You play Arsenal without Gabriel. You play Arsenal without Jesus. Any of these, or two or three of these against Chelsea, and that is a significantly challenged team. You even play them without their key midfielders like Declan Rice or what's the other guy that came from Atletica? I've forgotten his name now. You play
Partey.
Iparte. They never have these guys missing. That's my point. But we're always patching up, fixing up, preparing up, making do. Yes, we are less rehearsed because we are an entirely new team, which is another issue because even if we had all these guys fit, they haven't played enough. Neither have they played enough together. But we don't have major players that we bought for the first team. And I talk of Nkunku. It is an almighty miss. I talk of Brozier. That is a big miss as an attacker. Yeah, okay, we say, yeah, we got Jackson. Yes, we do. But if we decide to make a change, then it's for who? The patch-up starts. We put Sterling up there. Or, I think we always play Arsenal with one hand tied behind our back. And I'm tired of it. I want us to be fit and ready. Let's go toe-to-toe. If they can beat us, fine. But I don't think they can. I really don't. I think we're a better team. The fact that we can be handicapped in this way and the fan base be quite prepared to face them, albeit with some trepidations, I think it's credit to us, to be brutally honest. Honestly.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this: whenever Arsenal and Chelsea meet, team form that doesn't really matter that much. It gets thrown out of the window. But let's see how this one pans out. In 3 days, we'll find out. Havertz was one, as I've said, I'd rather him not start. You see a different Havertz on the day. It's that time of the year, Jersey. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. A fit team and an Anthony Taylor. Big up, Coach and Bobby. Big up to you too. The Blue Tiffin game. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining. If we lose to Arsenal, no excuses from me. Players need to step up. We need to see that.
I don't agree.
We need to see, but he's entitled to his own opinion.
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah.
But I disagree with my entitlement, and I revert to the fact that we are not playing a fully prepared team with our key players. I think that changes the dynamic, and of course, it may not be all of the reason, but if, and you see, it's even an if we don't beat them, there is ample reason as to why that would be, as it has been for the past 5 years. So, saying that is disingenuous. In my opinion, yet again, he's entitled to say it, but I believe it's disingenuous.
Here's the thing. For me, the only excuse I'm not going to even define it as excuse as an excuse. The only issue I have is we're not a unit yet, and they're a unit. For us, we still have and you can say we have an entirely new squad, which will take time for each individual player to bet, for each player to bet in, and then we'll start playing as a unit. That's the only concern I have. Beyond that, even the absence of Nkunku doesn't really matter to me. If it comes back, we'll become stronger. But we should be able to beat them even with Nkunku not playing. I think we have good enough squad to do that. But I understand your concern with regards to how many players we have out injured. that's an issue or a setback on its own. If we had a fully fit squad and Arsenal had injured a team and we beat them, we would celebrate regardless. I wouldn't I would not us injuries. I would not wish us injuries. I said, okay, I'm not sure. I think it's a bit mixed up there. He never said that. If you paid attention, Chelsea boasts a superior team and the more accomplished manager. Here's the thing: in terms of the team, we're nowhere near them. But when we gel, we should be on paper. You can say we should be way better than them. Our biggest issue right now is that we're not a unit yet. We're still a team of individual players, quality players, but not playing as a unit yet. We make progress. But you still witness disjointed displays here and there due to lack of proper chemistry between the players. But that will change with time. As the players continue to play together, with time, we'll start playing as a unit, and believe me, we'll be fearless, and teams will fear us quite a lot. But right now, they know we're playing with basically we have an entirely new squad, and that's an issue. But that's no excuse from my end. We should be able to get a result. The manager just have to do his homework, find weaknesses in that Arsenal team, because there are a few. It doesn't have to be pretty. We just need to win. We just need to play that game. As a London derby that it is, and not just going to it. You can say like the last time we played them at home, they were playing. They were playing the game as a London derby that it was at the time, and for us, we were just like kids. They were muscling us off the ball. They were aggressive. I think part of their game plan on the day was to be aggressive, and it worked for them. I don't want to see that. I want to see that spirit. I want to see a spirited performance from my team. Show them if they try to be aggressive, we show them we can be aggressive too. But I think we've made a good enough changes in the team that I don't think if they come into that game with a game plan to be aggressive and to unsettle us, it's not going to work. The clash between Arteta and Pochettino is an emotional thriller for those aware of their history. You told me that they played together at PSG, and at the time, Pochettino was PSG's captain. Let's see. Hit the like button, people. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 27 likes, but I think we should be doing better than that. And for those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, we appreciate you, because you watching alone does go a long way. But if you don't mind taking a second to drop a like on the stream, the likes do go a long way. It triggers the YouTube algorithm, and in turn gets it to push your stream to other people who'd be interested in the topics we'll have lined up here. So let's move on. And the Maya is saying, is Jackson back for it was never injured? I'm not sure where you're getting that from. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. And congratulations to Angelo Gabriel. He's doing well. Hopefully he does well enough that by the time the season ends, the manager will create space for him in the team. And by the way, actually, I think we don't have enough numbers in terms of wingers. I think we still lack numbers in that area. Let's move on. And we have Rick Blue in the house. This one, Trevor Chalobah and Carney Chukwuemeka have both suffered recent setbacks in their bid to return from respective injuries sustained earlier this season. That is concerning. Once you think, okay, you hear that certain 1, 2, 3 players will, you can say, have started training, you can say have returned to full training, and then you hear the news of that 3 other players, have suffered a setback. That is really concerning. In the case of Trevor Chalobah, I think I've alluded to that, or maybe talked about that at length, actually. It doesn't look like he gets a chance to play for Chelsea again. I'm not, again, I don't know, but let's hear you. Eric, welcome. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us on the panel. I think it's evening for you. It's still morning for me, still 11:39 a.m. for me. What do you make of Trevor Chalobah's situation at Chelsea? I think he's gone. We know that. But do you think he gets a chance to play for Chelsea? I'd say no. And that's because the club wouldn't want to risk him playing and gets injured and then not be able to sell him in January. But let's hear you.
Big up once again.
Big up.
Thank you for having me again. Good
Big
morning.
up.
But yeah, it's Chalobah is a player that I don't treat him the way a lot of Chelsea fans do. I think he's a talented player. He did very well for us. Overall, for us, he's been like a 7 out of 10, I think. Maybe even higher. So it's a shame he has to leave. Yeah, I mean, for me, he's a player who is underrated. I don't understand it personally. The whole Disasi thing, yes, you can easily say we didn't need Disasi. I think maybe initially we did just because of the injury situation. And we know Chalobah isn't the most what's the word? He isn't the most reliable. He's not injury prone, but he does get injured frequently. So that was the logic with getting Disasi. And I would still keep Chalobah personally, just to be safe.
I would too.
But it is what it is. He might want to play more games, and the club is probably looking to make profits again. Take advantage of the fact that Chalobah cost them nothing. So hopefully he's happy. I'm sure he's probably the one pushing for the move, and the club are
Exactly. I
obliging.
was going to ask you that because the club, you say they've always wanted to keep him, and I think probably would you say he fears competition?
I don't think he fears competition, but I also don't think that. I don't know if Pochettino rates him really, but he might just be looking for something different. Just a fresh start to try and because his career is kind of like stalled a little bit, stop start, which obviously is mainly made based on the injuries. But it's a situation now where even if he's fully fit, you're not 100% sure he'll start games. And I don't think anyone expects him to start at the moment, even if he's fully ready. So maybe he doesn't want the competition. Maybe it's more to do with the injuries, but he definitely wants the game time. That is for sure. So
And you could say he's the reason why he's in. He say he's because he pushed for a move to Bayern during the summer transfer window. And Bayern at the time wanted him on loan, but the club wanted to sell him on a permanent. I think that's the reason why you could say the club has sensed that he's not comfortable staying and not playing week in week out. So that's why you could say they're now open to sell him.
Yeah, probably. Maybe that is exactly what it is. So I wouldn't be happy to see him go, but I understand this is business, this is football. You can't get attached to any player. And I just wish him the best for wherever he goes, obviously. Yeah, I don't think it is necessarily the best thing to do. I still think that our defense isn't sorted or fixed the way some people think it is.
No,
We
it's
have
not.
some we have some potential problems there. The elephant in the room. I'll keep mentioning him, Thiago Silva. He's not getting any younger. Who knows how many more years he will have? I know I was targeting Aspi before. Aspi was my guy. I kept hounding him and I kept trying to get rid of him. And he kept proving me wrong. But eventually he left, and fantastic servant for the club, legend, Chelsea legend. And now I've moved on to Silva now. Silva is the new scapegoat. But
You have to have one.
yeah. But no, but the point is, to be honest, Silva, I keep saying, if only he came here like 9 years earlier, I never thought Silva would play for Chelsea. I'm very happy he did. He is a Chelsea player. I was so happy when he came to the club, but he's just too old. If it's not this season, it's gonna be next season. If it's not next season, is it 2025? Do you want him to have an Ivanovic situation where he gets
Here's the thing.
completely?
Coming to Silva's situation, I wouldn't even call it a situation. With regards to his age, I think he's not going to be here forever. It's quite clear. We should find. You could say we should find a way to phase him out gradually because his absence, whenever he's not playing, we seem to struggle even more. The entire team seems to struggle. So we have to find a way. My point is that we just have to. It has to be a gradual process, and we have to first of all find a way to learn to play in his absence, to learn to play without him. So when he leaves, it won't be much of a problem.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
see it.
We have
but,
Silva. Yeah,
go
sorry,
ahead if you're still talking.
just to very quickly conclude, Silva is just the guy I keep bringing up. I know he's one of our best players, he's best defender, but Silva is just one of the problems we have defensively, in my opinion. Maybe Silva is a long-term problem because he's obviously playing well now. But what I'm saying is, if Silva isn't there, like you just said, what's happening? And we can't expect him to be there all the time because of his age. So
yeah, we have to learn to play again without him.
Let's just hope Pochettino has a plan. I'm sure he does with our defense, because even though we've had a good, you can argue we've had a good record defensively. We've been one of the best teams in the league defensively this season. I still think I'm not too confident moving forward. But let's see what happens with the defense. I'm not saying Chalobah is, if he stays, everything will be fine. But let's just keep watching and see how that defense, improves and what it looks like in a few years.
Yeah, let's see. Before I go to Bobby to get his thoughts on 2 cents on Trevor Chalobah's situation, let me give those in the chat, the microphone. Good evening to you too, Agile. The catcher Bobby's gone. Maybe he comes back later. What is Chelsea going to do about the new stadium? They bought the land, or you can say on the verge of buying the surrounding. I'm not sure what language to use from veterans. Veteran organization, or what was the name? I can't quite recall. But they will complete the purchase of that that land soon. But we're hearing that doesn't mean that it's for certain that Chelsea will remain at the bridge. They're still considering the possibility of moving to a new area where they have a bigger space, maybe to build the sort of structure they want to build. From 2014 to 2019, Arsenal served as Pochettino's prime rival. This Saturday, he finds himself in a familiar territory. Let's see what happens on that day. And Olawale Ogundiran says, I think Jackson, James, and Palmer will be available for Saturday's game. We'll find out. Reece James is back. We'll get to that in a bit. Dekunle, nice to see you, Mr. Lawrence. Give us a like and a subscribe to elevate the excitement to new heights for the support for the upcoming clash against Arsenal. Please, the likes do go along with 34 likes, but we should be doing better than that. Let's see anything else to address here. Just saw people having conversations between themselves. That Saturday game has individual mistakes written on them. That is very common when you have an entirely new squad. You see disjointed displays here and there, and sometimes mix up in areas that you can say that could lead to the team conceding goals. I hope we don't see too much of it, because we'll get punished if that happens. Let's see what else we have here. What's the Simham situation like? We're just interested. Nothing. And at this point, you could say everything we're seeing out there with regards to Chelsea's interest in signing Osimhen in January, all rumors at this point, and no way to confirm if they're all if they're truthful. Let's see what else we have here. Tobias Mudryk is fit and not injured. Yep. I don't know whether he gets to start in that game. We don't know yet. We'll find out. Anything else to address here? This says, I have unwavering confidence that our defense will continue to grow stronger. The majority of the goals we conceded stemmed from recurring individual errors and positioning issues, which is very common when you have a new defensive line. A team's defensive line is the most difficult to assemble. Other areas you can make mistakes, you can say, and get away with it, but the defensive line, it's not easy. Let's see, Bobby. Let's come to you. What do you make of Trevor Chalobah's situation? Let's hear you.
That's a very interesting one, and I was listening to Eric with some keen interest as well. Trevor is a little bit more injury prone than people tend to realize, and I think people don't. He goes under the radar in that front because he clearly isn't, sort of first choice. And whenever he is, if you notice, he tends to then go off injured and have to be replaced. So there's been talk of him being sold for a while now. And It's only perhaps because of his loyalty and commitment to the club that hasn't happened sort of in a hurry. Now he's been injured for quite some time. Yes, I think his last game was in pre-season when he captained the team in, I think, our
Very
first game
correct.
or second game, and then he was gone. And that's a long time ago. That's August. So I don't know if I'm with a heavy heart inclined to say, look, one more at least of these 100% profit players is going to go. And of them, he is most probably the one I think we can tolerate more. I don't think we can afford to let Gallagher go, to be brutally honest. I think Gallagher is evolving into a key player for this club. He is going to be the kind of Aspilicueta-esque player, the Jordan Henderson-esque player, only he's better than both. So I would persist with him. I think he's very functional and very key for the club, and his injury record, please God, so far. And Trevor's can only get worse as he gets older. He's still very young, but who knows? He has not been great with injuries, especially when he's given consistent game time. So I'm not going to agonize too much if he's sold. Now, a point was made about the defense. Well, Benoit Badiashile, who himself has been off for far longer than I thought he would be, is coming back, albeit I don't think we should expect to see what's his name, Wesley Fofana at all this season, really. But Benoit's coming back. Fortunately, we have Levi, okay, and then we've got Desassi. Now, I think Desassi is often unfairly judged. Yes, he doesn't have all the speed in the world, but he doesn't need to. If he's paired with other players, he's got the physicality, he's good in the air, he's fairly good at the tackle, he can attack the ball offensively. He's a smart player, and he often gets more right than he gets wrong. And people forget he's just come into the team. He himself had a stunted pre-season. He had to walk into this team and hit the ground running, and everybody's new in the team. So I'm inclined to give him some time. In fact,
All
he
right.
probably deserves a full season before we really judge him. So defensively, we're not that distressed. The issue then is Thiago Silva, and we all know we need his replacements. And I think amongst what we have, remember, we still have Bashir Humphreys out on loan, and he hopefully will come back better. Amongst what we have, and the fact that there's talk of Thiago being given an extension for a year, whether in a coaching role or what, amongst what we have, we can sort out a replacement for him. But I don't think defense is our problem, and the statistical record actually proves that.
All right. Let's see. Let me hear you, Alex. Sorry, Eric. Something Bobby said, and I want to ask you this. Sorry if you feel like I'm putting you on the spot. The question I want to ask you is this: do you believe? Do you feel like Bobby, who thinks that we cannot afford to lose Gallagher? Let's hear you, Eric.
Well, I could have said we couldn't afford to do one or two things, but the club still did it anyway, right? We know that these new owners aren't afraid to try some things. So
But
I don't
but
think
if you're seeing it from the perspective of what I believe that Bobby meant when he said that, like he's too important that we cannot do without him. That's how I see it.
well,
But
it
let's
depends
hear
on how
you.
you
Do you feel
yeah.
the same?
Personal opinion, Eric is right. They will do what they will do, of course. But
Yeah.
if you
But
ask
let's hear
me,
you, Eric.
I mean, yeah, the club will do what they want regardless, but I think it's more of a thing of me not being so. Yes, we don't have problems defensively. That is obvious. Like, I said already, we are one of the best teams defensively so far, but it
But
doesn't mean
don't you think that not that the numbers sometimes can be you can say can be deceiving, because you can say
No.
about 2 games that if it wasn't for Sanchez's brilliance between the sticks,
Yeah.
would be worse off in the table right now. But let's
He's
hear
part
you.
of
Yeah.
the defense, coach. He is part of the defense.
Exactly.
Your goalkeeper has to be part of the
Yeah.
defense.
He's part of the
Yeah,
defense.
I know. For talking about the defensive line, excluding the goalkeeper.
Okay, but I think numbers can only be misleading if you don't look at the full picture. People like to shoehorn or not shoehorn, but people like to ignore certain statistics and focus on others. If you have all of the statistics in context and just look at everything, the numbers don't lie. Numbers tend not to lie.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that numbers may look like they lie is when someone has an agenda and they use the numbers in a certain way and they don't give you the full idea of what's going on. So that's when numbers might be, might lie. But generally speaking, the statistics are there for a reason. All these coaches use them for a reason because they're reliable. I don't think we have a problem defensively at the moment, but it doesn't mean that I am fully convinced with us. One of my main concerns is with the availability and also in terms of how it, how practical is it for Badiashile and Colwill, for example, to play together? How many left-footed, right-sided centre backs do you know of? I can't name any. So one of them will have to be on the bench, and one of them will start. I don't know how that works. Maybe maybe Badiashile is happy to warm the bench. Who knows? So it's going to be Badiashile and Disasi moving forward, or Colwill and Disasi. That's what we're assuming.
Or maybe
And
the
then,
manager rotates.
Yeah, no, he's going to rotate regardless, but those two might be the main guys moving forward. Maybe Silva is not so involved towards the end of the season, or maybe for next season, and those two are the guys. And then Chalobah, if he stays, he's also a rotational player. Maybe Chalobah is good enough that he puts Disasi on the bench. So that might be the situation we're looking at. But in terms of two left-sided centre-backs competing for one spot, not saying it's a bad thing, but that might be a contentious situation. And then,
Eric, can I drop something, food for thought, which is really interesting? I know you know this guy. I've forgotten his name. We all used to talk together on a panel on one of these platforms that some time back. Now, this guy, I think he is Ghanaian, and this sort of thing was a discussion, not necessarily for the defense, but for the midfield. And he did mention that having left-sided centre backs at all is quite rare, especially at this level. So when you have them, they're like gold dust. And then he gave an example. Now, I'm just really getting into African football, but he said that there was a Ghanaian team that had, of the 11, about 10 players, all left footers. And they won the African Cup of Nations because they were so unique. So I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
okay.
Why can't two left-sided centre backs work when we use often two right-sided centre back? And for example, Rudiger was right-sided and he played left back. So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this team, to be honest, but it's an interesting observation you've brought up. I need to research that and find out what team this is. But yeah, I'm not saying it can't work, and I'm not saying they don't exist. Right-sided, left-footed centre backs, but I'm just saying, is Poch going to do that? Are we going to see it? Who knows? If it works, I'm not going to complain. But these are just the things I'm looking at to suggest that, okay, we're doing well now, but, how good are we going to be in the next year or two? Who knows? I know things might still change, but I'm okay with the defense. I don't really want to focus on it because, like you said, it's not really a problem right now. Chalobah, I look at more as a player who will just be there in case we have injury problems, which this team, we have injuries all over the place, and defensively is no different. I think Fofana has played like five games for Chelsea or something like this. And Badiashile, I don't think he's injury prone, but he's been injured for a long time. Silva is not injury prone, but Silva I can't expect him to play every single game. And then we now have I know it was short term, but we had a situation where we know Reece James is injury prone. You know, he's been out for so long. And what's his name? Gusto, who came in to replace him, then was out as well because he got a red card. And then on the left side, Chilwell is now out. And then you have Maatsen, who just recently started getting involved, even though Pochwttino didn't want to play him for most of the the season, but he's now getting him involved. And then you have what's his name? You have Colwill, who's actually kind of playing there instead of really playing where he should be. So it's a thing where you have Colwill and Maatsen on the left, and okay, they can compete until Chilwell eventually comes back, who is our best.
When you're saying on the left, you're talking about the left back.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the whole back line.
From all indication, it doesn't look like the manager sees Maatsen as a left back player.
Yeah, exactly. So
and also in the case of Colwell, we're not sure what's going to happen. He played there for England too, the whole 90 minutes, the entire 90 minutes, and I'm not sure, but let's see.
He played. When did he play?
He played for England in the left back position, didn't he?
Left back.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Colwell is a left back. That's how he played in the youth team. He was only converted.
I didn't know that. To be honest, I didn't know that. Yeah.
He was converted to a left centre back when he went on loan to Huddersfield. He played with Huddersfield as a left back, and then they had an injury, and then they put him as a left centre back, and he continued. Even at Brighton, when they eventually started playing him, because it took a while for them to start playing him, he was a left centre back. Then they would often shift him to the left back. That's why Southgate played him left back. So it's not an unfamiliar position to him. Okay. And if you need the physicality, then he can definitely offer that far more than the left backs we've got.
Interesting. So, Bobby, where would you say that he's a better left back or is a better centre back for?
Personally, I think he can do both. He's a better centre back because he lacks he's not like what's this guy on the right side that came from Tottenham with Man City now? Oh gosh, he's tall, physical. Walker, he's not as good going forward on the left as Walker is on the right, although his ball crossing is excellent. So I think he's marginally a better centre back, but definitely he's not bad in left back, as he's proved.
And just very briefly before you move on, just very quickly, I was going to move on to the right back situation. We have all things being good and everything going well. We have two people, even though Reece James, is not always involved. Gusto can be there, except when he gets a red card. And then you now have Cucurella, a makeshift right back who is actually doing well. All of a sudden, left-footed right back, doing well defensively, and we were winning games with him in that position. So obviously, it's not long term. I don't think it's going to happen long term, and I still think he might leave. But these are just the things that I just want to make it obvious why I'm saying, I'm just not 100% convinced with the back line. Yes, we're doing well. I'm happy with it. It's good. It's not really a problem right now, but maybe in the future we might need to look at it. But yeah.
All right, let me give those in the chat the microphone once more. Please go check out Tabeho's YouTube channel. All of you from Adriel, all of you in the chat. The link is just right above the currently highlighted comment there in the chat. Here's the link up above it. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Profit is good. Always good. Like and subscribe. Go check out Tabeho's YouTube channel, please. Am I allowed? I'm not sure. Figure it out. Levi Colwell as a left back. Both Benoit Bottichilla and Axel Disasi is out. Is our centre backs. Then Reece James as our right back. Reece James and Malo Gusto, of course. But Levi Colwell as left back, I think we can do better than that. There are certain attributes that you can say, certain way of operation or certain way of operating on the pitch that that is you see you want from a left back that he doesn't have. But that's a debate for another day. Your hatred is okay. I'm not going to be reading your conversation like that. As long as the club have a problem of too many good informed players for every position, we fans should be happy and not fighting with players' agenda. We're not fighting. Let us hope for 25 players deserving a start. Yeah, it's a good sign. It will be a good headache for the manager. Conor Gallagher, your captain, you're looking for a fight. There's slug it out with whoever comes at you for saying that. Hit the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We are at 44 likes, but I strongly believe we can do better than that. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else to address? Otherwise, we will move to the next item we have lined up to talk about. Let's see. They said the same thing about Mount until his dad said United is his home. That one I just can't still wrap my head around how the whole thing unfolded. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Accurate. Cucurella has suddenly made himself an asset, and if the manager is as superstitious as we've been told, he may well stick with Cucurella in that position until after the Arsenal game. But let's find out. And plus, I've heard people say that he doesn't rush injured players back. That may well lead to him deciding to keep let Cucurella keep his place in the team in the right back position. Okay. I'm not reading that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Anything else to address here? Otherwise, we'll move to the next item we have lined up. Undroppable. I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't say that. And that was what he said. But right now, actually, you could say, yeah, he's undroppable. In my opinion, he's been one of our best players this season so far. Is he my favorite player? One of my favorite players at Chelsea? I'd say no, not even in the 10th if I start counting. But his industry, commitment on the pitch is something that managers value a lot. Unfortunately for you guys that don't want to see him play for Chelsea, yeah, you're in trouble. But let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. In particular, Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo are traveling back to Cobham from South America and will be assessed for tiredness upon their return for this weekend's game against Arsenal. Let's talk about this, Eric, quickly. Enzo Fernandez, he's become, you can say, he's very unique, and his role for us is unique also. And what do you think? Who do we have that's capable of fulfilling that Enzo Fernandez role? You can call him the orchestrator or maybe conductor, for lack of a better language. I think in his absence we'll have a problem, and the way we play will change completely if it's not playing. So
Yes.
what do you think is capable of fulfilling that role? Let's call it the Enzo Fernandez role, because yeah, he's been a conductor, driver, or maybe a pilot, maybe, I don't know, for lack of a language again. But let's hear you.
Yes, conductor, pilots. It's called the Enzo Fernandez role for a reason. It's because nobody else can replace him in that role. Not in my opinion. Nobody else is good enough to do that job. You can talk about quality players we have, technically, proficient players, but nobody has the vision and the IQ that he does. The reason why he plays deeper is not because he cannot play higher up. It's just because he's so much better deeper and he makes the team so much better. I don't really care too much about him scoring goals. He's not De Bruyne. I don't need him to be that. Yes, he needs to try to score more goals. That's important. But
and that will come with time because he did well at Benfica. River Plate, he scored goals for them. He was good at set pieces, taking set pieces for them also. But let's hear you.
Yeah, he was. And we know he can score goals. I remember that goal he scored in the World Cup against Mexico. So he can do it and he will do it. But yes, he needs to be deeper, 100%. Nobody can, I'm sorry, there's no one in our team who can replace him. So he has to play against Arsenal. He needs to, whatever needs to be done, whatever needs to happen to make him ready, needs to just be done. He needs to play that game. And yeah, I mean, we can just try and we'll be a different team, like you said. You know, the only person I can think of is Nkunku, potentially. But then Nkunku is not really.
He's not a deep line playmaker.
He's
The general term for Enzo Fernandez's role at Chelsea is a deep line playmaker. He dictates the pace of the game. When we need to slow it down, he can do that, and he can also, you can say, distribute the ball from one. Do you think something just came to my mind? Do you think Palmer can do that? Because I've seen him. He's an intelligent player.
I was going to come in on that with Cole Palmer. Look, Enzo is unique, really. He is, but is he somebody that, if he's a bit tired, which he might well be from the fact that he plays so much and travels so much, I think he may not play 90 minutes. Cole Palmer can definitely do a job there. Carney, when he's fit, can do a job there. We have options. We will play differently slightly, but we have options if he's not around, and we have to have anyway. You know, please God, let him not have, but if he has an injury or suspension, we've got to have someone in for him. And I think we've got people who can fit in, at least do a good job there. And also, this is why we also held back Ugochukwu, because, you know, he's another one. You know, he's been in camp. He's someone that can do a job when we don't have Caicedo, and definitely now Lavia. So I'm not too worried, albeit they're not as experienced as those two, and definitely not as good in those positions as those two.
Eric, before I go back to the chat, do you agree that Palmer can? And most definitely, I believe Chukwuemeka can, because I've seen both. I've watched them play, and they both have that intelligence to switch the ball from one particular end of the pitch to the other, if need be. And they don't just do it senselessly; they do it with purpose, to allow the team to progress the ball effectively. Palmer does that. I've seen him do that severally. Chukwuemeka, when he was fit, he did it very well against Liverpool. He played very well against Liverpool, spacing, you can say, moving the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. If there's no space in that particular end, or if things get a bit too tight in one end of the pitch, he finds space. Even when he has 2-3 players on him, he was able to still switch the ball to another angle, to another side of the pitch. Do you think Palmer can do that in the absence of Enzo? Because we need to have this conversation, and I'm sure you've agreed. Bobby has also he's also agreed that, if Enzo isn't playing, the way we play will change. But let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to just echo what Bobby said. I'm going to use his words. Palmer can do a job. Of course he can, and so can Carney. Like Bobby said, 100%. You know, what you asked me was, can anyone do what Enzo does? Which I think is no. The answer is no. But we don't necessarily need anyone else to do what Enzo does. So we're a top team, or we're supposed to be. We're a team of quality players. So of course we can.
This quickly. You said we don't necessarily need another player that's capable of doing what Enzo does, right? But here's where that's a problem. If Enzo plays predominantly, and then we're accustomed to the way he dictates the game, the way he leads the team. He leads by by his way, his approach to the game, not like he's a leader in terms of being the captain and all that. So when that changes, don't you think it will have an adverse effect on the team?
No, I don't. No.
Really?
Like Bobby said, we might play a little bit different, but we're still look, I don't want to I don't want to get carried away or just put too much on the good games we've had. We're on a good run at the moment, but I think it won't be adverse to the team. You know, obviously our best players make us look great, and then when they're not playing, we're not as good. That's just normal. But in terms of us being competitive and still being a team that can win games, I expect that regardless of who's playing. So, and Enzo can't play every single minute. So I can't just, expect him to do that. And I can't expect us to be exactly the same when our best players aren't involved. So it's not really a big deal for me.
Yeah, as much as we've talked about how important it is for us to learn to play without Thiago Silva, I think we should also start learning to play with Enzo Fernandez. In my opinion, I still think if he's playing if he plays nearly every game, and you can say if anything happens, God forbid, if someone else comes in, the quality of our approach will do. You can say we will be a bit disjointed, in my opinion. I think we had that issue with Jorginho. And
you see, so this is why you don't even entertain the idea of someone like him being out for a long time, because that might be a potential problem.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we will create a problem with I get it. We can still do without him, but we'll have a problem, in my opinion. So we should find a way to start. You can say it's up to the manager to create a situation where, and even in his absence, we'll still be playing. It will not look like we're missing anything. But hopefully,
this highlights my point about how the absence of our key players really impacts the teams. A lot of these players.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead.
Sure. They're not replaceable as such. We just manage and do a few things differently without them. Reece James, a fit Reece James is irreplaceable. We've just been limping along and managing without him, as is an Nkunku, who we bought to be that guy. And we're just managing without him. So any one of these key players, Jackson, definitely Enzo, even Caicedo now that we bought to do that job. These are key players, and we need them fit. We can't really do without them. We can play, we can adjust and limp along, but we won't be the same. So this just harnesses the point. Every team just has those guys that make them the super team they are, and without them, they'll struggle. Look at Barcelona. Barcelona, back in the day when they were lifting every accolade going, they would never have been the same had they been without Messi or Xavi or Iniesta. Anytime they just miss one of those guys, they limped a little bit. And this is what's happening to us. Only it's happening to us too consistently. This is one of the main reasons we have been struggling. And hopefully we'll slowly start to get out of that patch.
Yeah, excellent point there. Good day, Coach. Good day to you too. A lot of people, Mr. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining. Gallagher to retire. So, okay, you having a conversation there. I'm not going to join that fight. Slug it out there. Moises Caicedo can play that role for me. Because personally,
Lavia can, if he's fit.
Yeah, Lavia can. Yeah. Lavia, here's the thing. Lavia can actually add more to that role because he's excellent at beating the press. But Lavia for me is more suitable to that Caicedo role, starting centrally. In my opinion, Enzo is still, the passing range. More importantly, is what described. You can say what defines Enzo Fernandez approach to the game predominantly is his passing ability, his passing range. And his vision. Those two things, his vision, his passing range. And I don't think Lavia has those two things. He has them, but he cannot measure Enzo in that aspect.
All he would do there is a good job, but he's not Enzo Fernandez. And that's why these key players are irreplaceable. And it just continues to harness the point. We need them all fit.
Yeah, we do need them all, yeah. But yeah, let's see what else we have here. Caicedo can, but he will not be as effective as Enzo. I get it. He has excellent long balls in him, but his vision will not come anywhere close to that of Enzo Fernandez. Even I have to admit, midfield three of Enzo, Caicedo, and Dare. You're talking about Dare at Aladi, but I know who you're referring to. I say it. Gallagher should be able to deal with any other midfield. Gallagher brings the energy and you can say the ability to unsettled opposition players in that midfield area with this, you could call it erratic approach, for lack of a better language. I will copy and paste that comment. Let's go. Let's see. Well, if Gallagher could get 10 goals and assists, then I would have no chance to drop the slender. If he keeps playing, because if the manager keeps playing with the same structure where he gets to play on the flanks as one of the 2-8s flanking Casado, I think he does well. He will get that. He's capable of getting that by the end of the season, and he's getting in the right, arriving late inside the box and all that. Who's confident about Chelsea winning? They should tell you there. I think if the ref doesn't interfere, then we get 3 points. No cap. I hope so. And that's shocking to see you this confident about this Chelsea team. I didn't expect that to happen, but I'll take it anyway. I also have a feeling that we will win. I hope so, Jerry Z. You did last time, and we did win. So hopefully it happens again. I am cautiously optimistic. It's not a wide take to anticipate a result. Yeah, I think I agree with you. The breach is going to be extremely hostile. I hope it is. I still have issue with our match-going fans. Who's going to be a referee? Haven't checked, actually. Need to check. Let's see if people found out here. Chris, do you know him well? Eric, do you know Chris, the referee?
Chris Kavanagh. I don't know him well. I don't know any of these referees well.
But he's more, you can say, reliable than, you can say, our enemy. What's his, Anthony Taylor?
No, Anthony Taylor is maybe the worst referee in the league, but let me just remind myself what this guy looks like, man. Chris Kavanagh.
Yeah, Bobby, do you know Chris?
Do you know him? Do you trust him? He's one of the better ones for sure.
Oh, the better ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say the same. The only thing is, experience has taught us that these referees, even the better ones, suddenly when it comes to key games against Chelsea, they suddenly become a different species. So I don't trust any of them. No. I've got to say, look, there are two things in this game that gives me caution. I never speak out and say, oh, Chelsea won't, but, I'm cautious. Let me just say, one, the officiating, referee, VAR, all those things, I'm very skeptical. And two, let's face it, Arsenal are an extremely good team, well rehearsed. So, we have to go in with confidence, but, we have to also be cautious. This is going to be a tough game. And we can do it, but will we do it is going to be left to be seen, really.
Mm-hmm. Eric, were you still saying something?
No. I agree with what Bobby said. Well, apart from the Arsenal parts, I still think they're not that good. I know they had a really good win against City, but let's not forget they haven't won anything. They finished second last season. United had a better season than them, in my opinion, because United got top 4 and actually won a trophy. But I guess Bobby's points. Obviously, they're second for a reason. Joint on points at the moment. We can't underestimate them at all. However, I don't think Arsenal are that good, and I also don't think we should be cautious. Just play our game. Try and be careful.
You mean we shouldn't be cautious in our approach? We should go all out for it.
Just try and do the good things we've been doing these games. Try to be very careful. Don't make any stupid mistakes, and just play our game. Going with confidence. We're one of the informed teams at the moment. We won our last 3 games, last 2 in the league, and we're away from home as well. We haven't been winning just in general, let alone away from home. And I know we've had a terrible recent record at home, but what's an opportunity to turn that around? So for me, I think we're a bigger club, so that alone should give the players some kind of confidence. This is a whole new era, different season, different. Everything is different. So for me, don't be cautious. Don't be timid. Be careful. Try and play well, but have confidence in what we're doing. So that's what I think we need to try and do. And obviously, you can still lose, but yeah.
I think from my understanding of your comment is that we have to go for it, but at the same time, we have to be cautious also
Well, it depends on how you use the word cautious, but yeah,
no,
just
again, defensively
yeah,
cautious maybe. We have to be
yeah, maybe,
offensive.
yeah,
We have to try to win it, but at the same time, balance is key. Let me just we need
yeah,
balance. We
yeah,
need the
exactly.
perfect balance. Yeah, not to risk too much. You can say in our push to win the game at the same time. But if I'm correct, I don't want to misquote you, but if that was what you
Spot
meant
on.
to say. If
Yeah,
that's not the case, you go
exactly.
ahead, correct me, please.
No, no, no. Everything you said is right. Spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Here's giving us 18. He's given us 18 yellow cards in 10. What? 18 yellow cards in 10 matches. The Chris himself. Nkunku news. Not until December period. Do you anticipate Poch deploying a back three for this match? I think he'll stick with a back four. Changing it will be risky. If he does otherwise, yeah, then I would just season watch the game. He's the manager. He knows what structure he prefers, or he believe that if he deploys the players will be at their best. Barcelona's hidden weapon, where the referees are whistling every simulation. I think it's believable now, given the rumors or allegations of bribery and all that. Chelsea and Arsenal are pretty even on XG and goals conceded. I think we'll look at that on the match prediction show in a few days. The Chelsea eye test. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. A target, Odegaard and Saka. If he's a fit and we will be fine up to Chelsea. Odegaard, I would say just make sure you mark him outside the box. It looks like every time we play against him, he takes up that position, knowing that I think at the time we didn't have any player that's defensively cautious as Moises Caicedo. And he read it that day. I think did he score against us? He read the space, but I can
He
still remember.
definitely did. He definitely
He did,
scored
right?
against us. Yeah.
And from outside the box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think was it 2 goals on the day, or he scored one and one of the
I think
person
he scored
scored one.
2. I think he
He
scored.
scored 2, right?
I
So
think so.
he reads the game very well, and he occupies the spaces. And yeah, I think we should watch him outside the box more importantly. And he's so intelligent, man. I respect him so much as a footballer, given his intelligence. Honestly, I hope we do our job that day. But at the time, we had no traditional DMs or any player that starts defensively cautious as Moises Caicedo. Maybe he will read those spaces we usually leave outside the box and make sure no player gets the space to have a go at our goal post. Let's see what happens on the day. In my analysis, Arsenal is likely to approach the match with caution. I think I agree with that, given that from what I've seen so far, Mikel Arteta has become more pragmatic than he was last season. He learned quite a lot. I think he probably has become a better manager, definitely, I must say. Taking their time to find out their moments to exploit us. Chelsea is expected to control possession, which is a slight concern. To me, I don't think we'll control possession that much. I think it will be nearly 50-50.
Yeah.
But let's see. Even though I agree he's become more pragmatic this season, I think he probably might maybe feel like they're way better than us. No need to, you could say, to be cautious as that much. 1.8 cards per game. It's just about average, so not bad really.
Can I add
Yeah, go
another
ahead,
point
Bobby.
about Arsenal? By the way, your point about Odegaard, I totally agree. I've always liked that player, and I wanted him to come to Chelsea when Madrid were ready to let him go, but somehow we didn't go for him at all. But Arsenal, what I expect very much from them is the high press. They're very, very much a high pressing team. Now, and they
Organized
would
pressing too.
sorry?
Organized pressing too. High and
Organized,
organized.
high, quick
Yeah.
passing. They are a good team. And what they will notice is that Robert Sanchez, he tends to, with the high press, he does this silly passing to the opposition that you can catch him out with. Sometimes Caicedo is caught on the high press, especially after international games where he's traveled a lot and be a little less sharp. And definitely Enzo is caught on the high press. So we've got to be careful there, and we've got to have our wits about us. The only person I always think is good at countering that has been, and it's not really recognized for it, is Ugochukwu. He's very good at that. He's got good close control and he's physical, which you're going to need against Arsenal. And
Even though, just quickly, Bobby, even though I think that you like him probably because he's tall and physical, one
yeah,
thing about Ugochukwu is this intelligence. That game he played in the absence, who was that was injured at the time that he got to play? I can't quite remember.
it
One thing.
was Caicedo. He's always
Okay,
come in
yeah.
for.
I apologize for cutting you off, but I'll let you continue in a bit. One thing I learned about him is that he's so intelligent that when he's not fighting for the ball in terms of putting in tackles to get the ball, he's occupying spaces that makes that makes it difficult for the opposition, and that's because
He's
maybe
fantastic.
because he's traditionally a DM, so he
He,
has
he,
that comes naturally to him. Yeah.
he is a DM specialist, and I think he is the person that will cause Odegaard a lot of discomfort because all the places Odegaard will want to be, he will be there, and he will clearly mark him out of the game if he dares walk into his zone. So I don't know if Poch will start him, but personally I would. But that aside, Arsenal will come with that high press, and we've got to be prepared for that. If we're not prepared for that, that's where we begin to have problems. Now saying being prepared for that means their vulnerability. Yes, they have good DMs like Declan Rice, who is very good at the back, and indeed Thomas Partey, but they press high. And if you catch them and do the ball over the top to someone like Jackson, you're going to hurt them. So it's going to be an interesting game. I
Oh
think we
yeah.
need to have our wits about us, but if we counter their counters, they could be in problems here, and we could surprise people. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I hope they.
yeah. Go ahead, Eric. I wanted to say, go ahead.
Yeah, very quickly. I really hope they press high. I really do, because
Then I don't think
although
they will. Like I said, he
yeah,
needs to
yeah,
become
look,
more
they might
pragmatic
not,
this season. But go ahead.
because I watched the game against Man City, and yeah, they were pressing, but it was a different kind of game. That was a very boring match to watch. Honestly, I was really struggling, but it worked, didn't it? Because they got the goal in the end. So I don't think they will be so gung ho, I guess is the word you can use, or the phrase you can use. But I hope they press us, because it's high risk, high reward, right? So you press high.
Yeah, I hope they do. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember earlier on when Arsenal went so good under Arteta, they would like to, sit back against the big teams and just press as high as, well, maybe not press high, but they were very aggressive with the press, and they tried to force mistakes. And then when they force the mistakes, they would maybe get a goal from them, and then they would sit back again and try and kill them on the counter. So that's the way they played against.
Isn't it?
Sorry?
Which what they did to City. They kind of forced
Exactly. They kind of went back to the Arsenal of old under Arteta. It was not so much the way they played last season. Last season was the more of the refined version, but that one against City was more old school with the way Arteta was playing earlier on. So
The priority wasn't for it to be beautiful.
exactly. The football was just like the terrible football that they were playing under Arteta initially earlier on. So yes, high risk, high reward. Pressing high, who knows? It might be the key for them winning the game against us. But I know it's risky to say that I want them to do that. But we have struggled against teams that don't want to open up, teams that sit back. So we could counter them if they press high. So I'm hoping that is the sort of thing we see. I don't expect it, like you're saying. It's going to be very cagey. It might be a very boring game. It might end 0-0. Who knows? But honestly, even if we don't win the game, if we can just okay, I don't want us to get a draw, but if we can show that we are a team who should be at the top of the table against Arsenal, even if we don't win, I think that's a very good step in the right direction. And we still have a long way to go. This team still has a lot to do. But yes, we cannot afford to just lose this good feeling that we've been having. We need to have a good performance, and we can't lose this game.
More importantly, I want to see a spirited performance and a good result. And I think we can. We can. Let's see. Arsenal's tactics this season have shifted away from all-out attack, with Arteta aiming to avoid the mental and physical breakdown they experienced in April last year. You can say he wasn't pragmatic enough last season, in my opinion. Plus, yeah, the lack of experience in depth and all that. But they've gained that experience. They're a much different team this season, and he doesn't care how bad they win. They don't care. 4 wins on the bounce would give us the boost we need and also send out a strong message. So we need to win. A lot of people, Marcelo says, if we show Arsenal respect, then we could get screwed. I don't think we respect them. But I get your point there. Come on, you Blues, let's go. Yes, with Kepa in goal. On that day, Kepa tax won't work against Sanchez. And Glenn 10, my bro, I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I hope you're doing well. You being here is a good sign. It shows that you're dealing with your situation very well. Yep. And thank you for letting us know. I will keep praying for you, brother. Much love. You know what? I sincerely do care. Shots will be ending up or denting some cars at the parking lot. I think I agree with you. What a way to put it. Is this the first proper hard derby on the patch? Yeah. Have we played any London derby? But yeah, I get it. If you're using the term proper derby, then this one. Not counting for him. Yep. I think it makes sense. This will be, yep. Let's see what else we have here. Mudryk will finally get the chance to open those legs for the counter. Unfortunately, do I think he starts? No. And that's especially true given the fact that Sterling did not travel and Mudryk did. And looks like he's not back yet. Fatigue from international football could play a role. Chelsea maybe have a slight advantage. They also have internationals. Lots of the players that travel too. Big up JC. Okay, just a conversation there. Why am I wish I have a studio engineer that will just look at conversations and skip them? The more I listen to the panel, the more confident I am. Up to Chelsea. I hope we get a win on the day. Do I know what the outcome would be? I'd say no. Facts, kudos to you, Bobby. Beautiful game. I agrees with you. The beautiful game. Kachila, guys to watch is Odegaard and Martinelli. If we manage to shut them, we are fine. Yep, Odegaard is an intelligent player. But of late, I haven't seen us leave those sort of spaces that he exploits effectively during games. I think Casado has he closes that up, players up quickly. I think it will be an open game. I do hope Sterling is awake. Our weak link might be the lack of defensive contribution from Sterling, that left side. Interesting concern there. Odegaard's speed and intelligence are going to cost us. Let us avoid misplacing passes and be more accurate on the ball, and also watch him. Let him not exploit those spaces that we usually leave outside the box. Give him a chance for a goal. He scores too. Arteta will be cocky and press high, leaving the back door open for a vintage Chelsea counter attack. He's too arrogant, which will be his downfall. I hope that happens. Do I think that will happen? We'll find out. And Keyshawn, I haven't seen you in like 1,000 years, but I'm not a vampire anyway. I hope you get the gist. I hope you're doing well, brother. Keyshawn has a YouTube channel where he shares wrestling videos. Go check it out. Please go check it out. Subscribe. Let's help him grow. He's a member of the community, and what we do here, selflessness, is the reason why we're growing as fast as we're growing. So any member that has a YouTube channel, we help them gain subscribers and grow. I hope our boys will do better this coming Saturday. Maurice Cole, I hope so too. Maurice, I don't think I've seen you here before. This is your first time. So I want to say welcome to you and thank you for joining us in this particular conversation. Feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Kevin Morilla, it's been a minute. I hope you're well. Coachella, Arsenal will be a match to determine our season simply because it's the only organized team in the division. Wow. Some interesting comments there. If Gusto is back, we might go back to Sterling on the right hand side and Mudryk on the left. But honestly, then Palmer in 10. It depends on the structure, I hope. who drops for Parma, Gallagher, Enzo, or Casado. I don't see the three players, Gallagher, Enzo, and Casado, three of them. I see them starting. I don't see any of them being dropped to the bench. My plan of action would be to concentrate on cutting off the supply from Odegaard and lead some hard attackers on. Sending a message like a way of telling him the sort of thing that Cucurella did. Who was that mopped the floor with him, and he had to intentionally stamp him as if it wasn't deliberate. I think that was on purpose, really. Coachella, we should get a win against Arsenal. The last Arsenal win was the Europa League. Hazard and Giroud were still Chelsea players at the time. I think team form, I did look at it the other day, were pretty even. They've lost, was it 2 games or 1 game? Drew 2. I think pretty equal. We've won as many games as they've won. We drew as many games as they've drawn, and also lost as many games as they've lost. So pretty even in terms of team form. Spurs midfield made it nearly impossible for Arsenal to break through. If Saka is back, then I think Sterling starts on the right side because Sterling never tracks back. Mudryk does, and he's quick and probably quicker than Saka. Postecoglou deploying Bissouma as a holding midfielder, and Maddison dropping deeper to support Sarr. I anticipate Chelsea employing a similar strategy against them. Okay, let's see. What else we have here? Zinchenko told, yep, we read that. Mudryk for Ukraine, that if he scores on Saturday, the sort of goal he scored for Ukraine on international duty, yeah, the heat rip off, you know what. If he does, yeah, I read that too. We'll move on to the next item we have lined up. We have 52 likes, people. We should be doing better than that. Let's try as much as we can to get it to 100 by the time the show ends. But we have to switch topics right now. Let's do it. Eric, I think Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez both will most certainly start.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. But do you think that would be the case?
Caicedo and Enzo. Hopefully.
And this particular report is saying that's how many hours ago? It's today, 18th. A few hours ago. And for me, I think by now, even if they get home tomorrow, which is Thursday, they'd have 2 days, a day break maybe. I'm not too sure. But let's hear you.
I hope you're right. I want both of them to start. There's 2 of our best players, especially, looking at how well Caicedo has been playing recently. I think the last 2 games he was very good. He's actually playing like somebody who we spent a lot of money on, which is it's reassuring. But who knows, man?
That's impressive given the fact that he had no preseason.
Yeah, no preseason. When he came in, I was like, whoa, look at how terrible he is. Did we just waste a British record fee on this guy? No, of course we didn't. But he was just getting into things. No preseason. I'm not gonna give him too much of a what was the word? I won't give him too much credits that he's playing well, even though he missed preseason. You almost expect that, really.
You could say the same issue of lack of preseason was Sanchez had the same issue, but he's picked up for his
initially you don't
significantly.
You don't expect to hit the ground running necessarily without a preseason, but obviously he's proven how good he is. I hope they both start. Of course I do. If they don't, we still have Leslie. Honestly, Leslie is.
But he traveled too. They didn't play in England. He traveled, didn't he?
Leslie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they all traveled. Most of them traveled, boss.
So if they all traveled, which means certainly he starts over Ugochukwu, in my opinion. But you go ahead.
Well,
I know the distance of the travel matters too.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Distance of the travel, how many minutes played, things like this. If Caicedo isn't fully there or fully ready, the point I'm making is that Leslie is there. We still have options. I don't know how many games Leslie played. I think he might have just been on the bench. I have no idea. I've not watched any preseason, any international games. Sorry, I'm not too fond of the international break. I'm I haven't watched any games, but we have cover. We have Leslie in there. We have Caicedo, and yeah, I'm very happy with the depth we have. We have a setup. I know when we were sorting out the team, there were many critics and people had a lot of things to say. But I have to admit, I just have to be honest with with everyone. I am very content with the way things have been going recently. So
not from the start.
Not from not from the start. No. but recently the club, I think the owners are doing some good things with the team. I know some players have left who I didn't want to go. I'm still not happy about Lewis Hall leaving.
But he wanted to leave.
He wanted to leave, and we just, we were happy to sell him. And I don't even know if Poch wanted him, but it's fine. It's okay. We have my point is that we have a team that should be able to compete with the right game time, with the right, building the chemistry and things like this. So
and
whatever
tactical
team
approach overall.
And it's funny you mentioned tactical approach. If you think about tactical approach, I would go with Leslie. Leslie is
Really?
He's such an impressive player to me. I can't believe he's 19 years old.
Yeah, looks when he's on the pitch, you can say he looks way beyond you can say way much beyond his age.
Yes.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
Very, very impressive player. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough about him. I hope Caicedo is genuinely an upgrade on Leslie in terms of everything. Like Caicedo has to have everything. He needs to be the complete package. Defensively, offensively, positioning, everything. He needs to be there, because if he's not, I would happily start Leslie ahead of him. But I don't think we need to do that. We're assuming, and I think it's fair to say Caicedo is the upgrade. And yes, if they can both play, I mean that's best case scenario. Game on.
Yeah, I mean he can start centrally because it's traditionally DM, and because it can flanked by Caicedo, one other player on the other side. Bobby, I don't know. Do you want to add whether you think Caicedo and Enzo will most definitely start? This was 1 a.m. around 1 a.m. 1:17 a.m. my time. Yep, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo are traveling back to Cobham. I think they probably. I don't know the distance. I don't know when they get to Cobham, but do you think they both would most definitely start?
I mean, there's no 100%. I mean, it's likely. However, fortunately, we have some options, and Pochettino has before played Caicedo and Leslie, depending on what he wants to do on the day. And it's an option if he decides to start either or Enzo or Caicedo for one half and then swap for the other half, and you mix them in with Leslie. He can do any number of things, and of course there's Gallagher as well. So I think it's good. It's good we're guessing, because it will mean Arsenal will be guessing as well. And
Yeah.
It's not a healthy guess, because any one of them, if they're fit enough playing, will be an issue for them. So I wouldn't lament if I see Leslie starting and Caicedo on the bench and vice versa. It's not certain, but we're very focused on these South American guys coming back. What about the Africans? I don't know if Jackson.
Jackson is back already.
Oh, he's already back. Okay, well,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, we will. Before we round off, we'll look at training pictures. Gives us an idea of who's fit and who's not fully fit, maybe, and who's back. I think we'll do that. But thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. Were you still talking? Okay, I think.
No, you answered my question about.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Coach. Don't be surprised if our midfield will be Palmer, Ugochukwu, and Gallagher. Possibly Ugochukwu can play as an 8-2. I miss your show, and Raman Lot. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. We understand we have other priorities, but more important. Oh, I miss your show, bro. Sorry, I've been absent so long. I lost my dad, so that has been keeping me out. Sorry to hear that, brother. My condolences are from the Chelsea perspective community to your family. It's not, never easy to lose a loved one. I've been there myself. So sorry to hear that. Again, nice to see you once more. But you just have to submit to the will of God. Sometimes some stuff, when they happen, we cannot question God. But nice to see you once more, and sorry to hear about the passing of your dad, Raman Lot. Let's see. Let's hope Kai starts the game. I'm going to tell you this. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I would rather Kai not start, because if Kai starts, you see a different Kai on the day, in my opinion. Coach, they have to play. If Poch rests them, I am gonna blame him. But on the other hand, if we beat Arsenal with Gallagher and Ugo in midfield, the banter is gonna be off the chart. Yeah. I could hear you saying we don't even have a starting 11, but yet we were able to beat you. Kindly accept Jerry Z's deepest condolences. But thank you for telling us. We like it. We don't like to hear that such has happened to any of our community members, but we like being informed, so we know when to you can say console you. Eden Havertz reporting for duty. If he's playing against another team, but against Chelsea, you'd see the hazard of Leverkusen. No, that's how I see it. I'm not very confident on Agent 009 Havertz. J4 is a legend, though. Yeah, Jeff. But let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I think we, the fans, are putting more pressure on our players with our high expectations. Yes, it is cool, but I think we should also note that we only have a squad, but yet to have a team. Wow, I think that's a delicious comment. Actually, it makes sense. And at the same time, we should be cautious as to how we critique these players. We have a very young squad. And if we think that what we say don't get to them, it does. If, for instance, Mason Mount at one point, shutting down his Twitter account or X account, the new name. So yeah, I agree with you. Do fans cheer for J5? And what about Havertz? I don't think we should boo them. Good business for us. We sold them for J5 could have left us on as a free agent, but we got to sell him and get some money from him. Havertz, we sold him for an amount. If you asked me at the time, I would say the possibility of us getting that much money from the sale of Havertz, no, it's not going to happen. James back is crucial. The Sassy is a must, and that's a young with CFC. I can't say that fully. Big up to you too. Keep dropping. And Mitchie boys back in the chat. Always nice to see you, Mitchie. Much love to you, even though I don't like you. But Mitchie, find time, just like every other channel owner in the chat has done. Share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. We're selfless. Selflessness is the reason why we're growing here. And let's see anything else to address there. Quite a lot. I'm going to skip quite a few, and probably we'll go to the very bottom, but I can't do that. I have to say hello to my bro and friend, Eddie for Blue. I appreciate you joining, brother. Arsenal might have an eye on their Champions League match too. Yep. So that will most definitely wield some influence with regards to who start from for Arsenal. I think I agree with that. So let's see what they do on the day. Whether the priority will be to win the Premier League, you can say we'll find out on today which competition they are prioritizing over the other. But good point there, Eddie. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining this evening. Let's see anything else here. People having condolences to you even more from members of the community. Please accept. What's up, coach? What's up, panel? Shafodinho. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Much love to you. I am just one man with just one pair of eyes. I dress in normal clothes. I don't try to disguise. Wow. Why am I getting in the middle of that particular conversation? Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. 58 likes. Let's get it to 60. I think we can. By the time the show ends, let's try and get it to 100 likes. I appreciate you all. Much love to you all. What else do we have lined up here? I like this. He said a lot that shows his proper choice. Even one of the comments he had a dig at Arsenal. Even everyone in the world knows just how big the club is and how successful it has been. We are still the only. Oh, there you go. That part of it. Yeah, I like this part. We are still the only London club to win the Champions League, and just let me remix that a bit on 2 occasions. Yeah, I used to watch Chelsea as a young star in France. I think there's one, he said something to the effect of he was on his bed sleeping when a call come or something came in or something to that. But always nice to see players play for Chelsea who's always wanted to play for Chelsea since their childhood. I like that. And I appreciate this guy. He's a fine player, intelligent player too. Hopefully he's fit enough. But in my predicted lineup, YouTube shot predicted lineup, I didn't think he'd be ready to play, but let's see what happens. That was from an old song, another a crack in my heart by okay, let's see. London is and will always be blue. Yep, I agree with you. Let's move on to the next item. Let's go. Right. This is an interesting conversation, and if you're in the chat, let's hear you. This says that Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez might not be directly up against each other. I think they will not be. It will be Declan Rice and Caicedo, and but whoever shines brightest between those two could help control and decide the game. Let's hear you. If you're there, Eric, if you're still there. Okay, Bobby, let's hear you. What do you make of this comment from Pat Nevin? Okay.
What did he say about Declan Rice and?
He's saying, let me read it for you again. And if you're in the chat, let's hear your opinion on this particular comment from Pat Nevin. Let's hear you. Listen, Bobby, let me read it out for you. Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez might not be directly up against each other all the time, but whoever shines brightest between those two could help control and decide the game. In my opinion, I think this game will be won in the flanks, not in the central area. But let's hear you. What do you make of this coming from Pat Nevin?
I think he's right. Yes, it'll be one in the flanks, in that the flanks will be where the goals will come from, but the domination of midfield would dictate everything about how the game will go. Now, sorry, Declan Rice, will he be actually up against Enzo? Sometimes he will, but the performance of Caicedo, who may not be directly up against him, but will have duties to fulfill in that defensive area and dominating and winning the ball and taking the ball up, will also play a part. The midfield will be instrumental, and that's where we've, in the past couple of years, struggled against Arsenal, because our midfield was weak with your, what's his name? Jorginho. Kovacic was blunt in front of goal, and it was a floundering, flaky midfield, and if any of them was fit at all. So now we have more dynamic, we have more physicality, hopefully with Leslie, whether he's on the bench or not. So it'll be interesting to see, and we have to make a statement. Now, I know we're less rehearsed than them. Midfielders, most of them haven't had a pre-season.
When you say less rehearsed, you mean we're not playing as a unit yet?
Well, yes and no. We're beginning to, but
I just wanted to understand what you mean by that. Yeah, go ahead.
Players need to play together to build up that chemistry and that rehearsal of movements, tactics.
Cohesion.
Exactly. You need to know what you do together in tandem to become to effectively execute your tactics. Now, we're not far off from that, but we need time. But the good thing is that the players are good enough to paper over that crack while they're rehearsing each other, knowing each other. Some of these well-rehearsed teams, as I put it, often you see these midfielders passing the ball without looking for the player, because they know from training and from habit that when they pass there, usually this guy's going to be there. So instinctively, their concern is just make sure there's no opposition milling around to intercept the ball. So this is what I mean. It's going to be interesting. Can we do it? Yes, we can. It depends on how we execute a good plan. Is it going to be tough? Absolutely. You know, I think they're a good team. They've had a number on us. And our key players, I keep saying, are not around. Even Reece James, I don't see him playing 90 minutes. You know, it'd be lovely if he could, but I'd rather he just plays as much as he can and stays fit than
I'd rather him
overdoes
not
it.
play at all in this game. But go ahead.
Yeah, there's a possibility of that as well. Gusto is a good option, but as Eric said, you know, please don't go and get a red card, mate, because we don't need that sort of reckless behavior. This is a game for intelligence, control, and finishing. You know, finishing is important. Which Raheem Sterling will we see? Well, if he's the Burnley Raheem Sterling, then happy days. I rub my hands in anticipation for the game. But look, you know, you talk a lot about Havertz. I don't really care about Havertz. I think we're more likely to expose him than the other way round. But yeah, you know, whatever he wants to do, you know, he will do what he will do. But on the reverse of that, I think Modric is somebody that owes them one. And if his goal in the international is anything to go by, if he can crack in something like that against Arsenal, I think that will hurt them terribly. You know, if he's on form, they're in trouble. So it is an interesting game and can almost be perceived as potentially evenly matched. It's going to be the cleverness of the coaches and the ability of the teams to execute the plan. And that's where Arsenal's have a slight edge over us. But somebody brought in something that I think is quite interesting and probably significant. Will they throw everything at this game with the Champions League game round the corner? It wouldn't be wise. If you start prioritizing competitions at this stage, this is how you end up without a trophy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robbie. Battle of the price tag, says Jerizzi. That's a funny one. It's difficult for me to join join. Okay, a lot of people say for me to join to insulting those players is because they are really young. Some of them are very emotional and such it can damage their confidence. Except for bad ones like William Mammoth. I think I understand what you're saying. So we should be especially cautious on what we say about the players. Yeah, because it can damage their confidence. Casado is much more dynamic than Rice. Just a side dish. I think I agree with you. But I think defensively, Rice would do a better job than Casado. But in terms of being dynamic and passing range and everything, contributing more offensively, I think you get more of that from Casado. Rice is full of refined carbs. We don't need it to be bloated while playing. Just go away, please. Don't do that again. Declan Rice is not a match for Enzo Fernandez. I think they play different roles for both teams. I think the midfield will definitely decide the game. Ramalot, I think. Let's see what happens. In a few days, we'll find out. They will probably play in Keita, ex-Chelsea Academy player. Let's see how he does on the day. Why was Havertz lacking so much confidence when at CFC? Because he was practicing scoring against goals against Thiago at Cobham. Okay, I think I don't understand that, but it's fine. If it's a 4-3-3 formation, where would Mudryk be positioned? Can he slot in into the front three? I think he can, but application will be different, most definitely. Alongside Sterling, Palmer, and Jackson, this is why a formation change might be under consideration. We don't know, but we'll find out. Bobby is correct. Arsenal cannot afford a back-to-back defeat in the UEFA Champions League. So probably, they will have an eye on the Champions League. But that day is the day we'll find out their priority, whether their priority is to win the Champions League or to win the Premier League. But you can say they have enough squad size to still start a very powerful 11 and still do so in the Champions League. I don't think Raheem is reliable because he plays well anytime the international break is close by. You think he's doing that because he wants to be called up for the England national England international assignments. But let's move on to the next item, people. I appreciate you all. We are at 58 likes. Maybe let's get it to 60 at least, and go for 70, and then the next number. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Let's go. I think we'll look mainly at training pictures. We've addressed this, and this one here shows Amanda Broya at during training. Do I think he stands? I don't know. I'm not sure what the manager would do. And here we have Nicholas Jackson, and that shows he's returned. That answers your question, Bobby. I still probably should I call that a cast, which means he still feels some pain in his wrist. Let's see, Axel Desasi trained also. So yeah, it looks like I have to throw my predicted lineup out of the window. And we have Raheem Sterling, aka Raz. He trained. That's a picture of him during training. Let me go like this. Aka Raz, he trained too. And we have who else? Marco Correa, all smiles. Yeah, having a laugh there. Let's see, Conor Gallagher during training. Benoit Berdeshile during training. Reece James also trained. Some rumors emerged saying that he will miss the game. He's not fully fit. And then immediately after that rumor emerged, he put out a tweet saying something to the effect of a new era has begun and it's only the start, something similar to that. I think he's fully fit. The question is, will he start? We don't know. Cole Palmer in training. Cole Palmer also trained today, so he's fine. We've addressed that one there. And I think nothing else here to talk about. Levi Colwell also trained today. Yeah, Reece James looks very happy, so he's fully fit. We've also addressed that report there. Carney Chukwuemeka most definitely out. We've addressed that one too. So if you have anything else, or if you have any questions and you're in the chat, drop it there and we will try to address it. Otherwise, we'll be rounding off soon. Let's see what else we have here. Sanchez's distribution will play a crucial role in this game, especially with Saka, Jesus, and others closing down in groups. Perhaps Colwell could start in his preferred position to mitigate that risk. Possibly, but chances are most likely he starts in the left back position. But I want to say this quickly. I think Sanchez, his distribution isn't actually bad. It's still, I think he will improve. I think he's improved significantly. His distribution needs a bit of work, probably with time. I think it clicks because if for anything, he at Brighton he was good with the long balls. Yep, he was good with the long balls. But in terms of keeping it close on the carpet and to the nearest defender, I've seen where he went on loan. Where was that? I can't quite remember. He made a few you could say comical errors. That hasn't happened for a while, and you can say we've been quite lucky that on occasions where he passed the ball to the opponent. In one instance, he actually was outside his line, and we could have considered from that. But I know he will improve. I like the improvement I've seen so far from him. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you. Coach, did they coat his hamstring with titanium? Who? James? Yeah, titanium, maybe vibranium, maybe from Wakanda. I'm not sure, but I was looking at the cast on Nicholas Jackson's wrist. So we still have what day the show actually. Let me look at it again. We've scheduled a prediction of Chelsea versus Arsenal match prediction, and even though it's called match predictions, it also preview. It's also a preview of that particular game. That will be on what date? Let me look at it again. Just quickly, that will be on October 21st, the same day, but 3 a.m. during the Blue Morning Show. That's when we'll look at we will do the match reviews. But tomorrow, I think we should do Arsenal Chelsea combined 11. I think that will be an excellent show. We should do that tomorrow during the evening show. Let's see what else we have here. I would love to see our second choice goalkeeper on post. Yep. What's his name? Petrovic. but you don't drop goalkeepers like that. I think he gets a chance during cup games, and you could argue the reason scientists had to, again, he was chosen to guard the six for us during the cup games was because he didn't have a preseason with us. So the more games he plays for us, the better. I think Petrovic will get his chance, and I still think he's a better shot stopper between the two of them. But we'll have two good goalkeepers. Let's see. He will get his chance during cup games, I think. I would love to see our second choice goalkeeper on post. He's good with his feet. What I don't know that. Are you certain that Petrovic is good with his feet? Wow, etc. And you would like to see whether he is? Is that? Are you saying that you would like to see whether he's good with his on the ball, or are you suggesting he's good on the ball and you'd like to see him play? I'm not sure what you're saying there. 2-0 Chelsea. Okay, we'll find out in a few days. Arsenal having to play Chelsea and Sevilla, both away games. Will test their credentials. We'll find out. So, Bobby, anything else you want to say?
Sorry, I'm just trying to unmute.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean it's you're talking about testing their credentials. I think it tests us more than them. It certainly will test our defense. We'll get to know a bit more of how resolute they actually are, because this is a team that's tricky. They're fast. They're good finishers, and we will be tested to the hilt, and we need that test. Thiago Silva, Poch likes him and is likely to play. His lack of pace, with the Sassi's lack of pace, could be a consideration. But I don't know. We've got Badiashile. Will he start? Somehow, I think he's going to come off the bench, to be honest, because
to get some minutes, but it all depends on how the game pans out.
Yeah, he's been away from football for so long. I can't see him getting more than, at most, he will have maybe 50 minutes thereabouts, if that. I think he's more likely to get about 20, as is Reece James. The same thing. I can't see him playing all the game, but that's okay. We know where we are. Look, we know what we've got to do. We have had some players around. Yeah, I forgot the issue about the operation on his wrist that Jackson had. Would that impact on his training? Maybe not so much. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. It's a shame we don't have Broja. I think this was a game for Broja, and I could see him scoring in a game like this.
Are you saying, do you mean Nkunku?
No, Broja.
He's
Amando Broja.
available.
Is he available? I thought he
Yeah.
was injured. Oh,
No,
well,
he
that's
trained.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. If we have the option of Broja, then that just adds to our danger to them, because Broja's physicality and, he can finish. And, although he needs time, I would certainly have him off the bench at some point in the game. So let's see. The good thing about this game is that there is hope. There's no confidence as such, but there's hope. We're good enough. And if we execute it well on the day, we can surprise them. So we have hope. And, that's good enough for me at the moment.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And I must say, I don't know if I've told you this, you sound very energized, which is a sign that you're really recovering well, and that makes me happy. Eric, I don't know, you have anything else you want to say before we call it a day? That is if you're back, because you had to excuse yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
Anything else you want to say, bro, before we call it a day?
Yes, I had to pop out, but I'm back. No, if we're if we're all still here by the 21st, if everything goes well, and
Inshallah.
yeah. If the world hasn't exploded by that point, hopefully Chelsea win the game, and yeah, even if we don't win, good performance, but I don't think asking for a good performance is too much. The team is fully capable. I know they're young, but we have talent. There's a lot of talent in the team. We believe in them. That's why we expect them to do well. And it's Chelsea. That's why we, for better or for worse, we will always want you know, we always want the players to do well, and we always expect good things. It's just normal. If you play for a big club, you should expect there to be pressure. So
yeah,
I don't think that's a problem for the players. I think they'll do it. Well, when I say do it, not saying they'll win, but I'm saying I think we will play well, give a good account of ourselves. Pochettino, he's doing better. I'm happier with him now. I was a little bit upset with him before, but things are obviously turning around, and yeah, let's hope we win, and let's hope we give a good performance. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Eric, and thank you once again for finding the time to join us. We will be streaming mainly during the evenings at the same time every day, except if anything comes up. The Blue Morning Show isn't gone. We're still looking for co-hosts to help keep that one going, because some people prefer that time of the day. But if the transfer window comes around, most definitely we still the Blue Morning Show will be on. Will be airing as usual. Yeah, I have watched him, and he is good with his feet, both long passes and short passes. Yeah, I hope to see him. I think he will get his chance, but I've explained to you why I think he hasn't gotten the opportunity to guard the stakes for us, and that's because Sanchez didn't have preseason, and the manager wanted him to play more games, and that has paid off, in my opinion. Nkunku is fit. He's been training. No, he's not. He's been training personally, like in the gym and all that, and playing with the ball alone, but he hasn't returned to full training. Chelsea to win this weekend. The Okuchigoze thinks that will be the case. I hope that happens. A game like this will show the magic of Mauricio Pochettino. Don't forget, we have an elite manager. Okay, Chelsea will win. According to my bro Jerry Z, up to Chelsea and Palmer fit to play. Am I right? Yeah, I think Palmer is fit to play. I want to say thank you to Bobby and Eric for finding the time to join me on the panel today. And to those of you in the chat, Chikazie, I appreciate you for joining us. Lateness is greatness. And the beautiful game, much love to you. JC, always nice to see you, brother. Chikazie, Ramlot, I appreciate Ramanlot, I appreciate you joining. JC was here. All of you, if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Peace.